Eid holiday ends today. Offices and courts will reopen tomorrow. Working people are returning to capital after celebrating Eid with their loved ones. Dhaka still remains largely empty due to Eid holiday. Security has been tightened to maintain law and order. The festive spirit of Eid still lingers in the capital. Crowds are flocking to parks and entertainment centers. The supply of fuel oil in the country is normal. Compared to last year, imports have increased by 25%, says Energy Minister Iqbal Hassan Mahmood. All military attacks on Iran's power plants and energy infrastructures are suspended for 5 days, announces Trump on social media Truth Social. And Manchester City wins the Carabao Cup, beating Arsenal 2-0. Assalamu alaikum. Welcoming you all. News at 10. I'm Nazmin Khalik Zubair. You have just heard the headlines. Now move on to the details. The extended public holiday for Eid al-Fitr came to an end today, with government offices, courts, banks and businesses set to reopen on Tuesday, marking a return to normalcy across the country. The official holiday concluded on Monday, prompting a massive wave of city dwellers to end their celebrations and begin their journey back to capital city Dhaka. The city is bracing for the resumption of full activity after a prolonged break. Travelers faced significant pressure on roads, railways and waterways as they made their way back to the capital. However, many commuters noted that despite the heavy crowds, the extended duration of the holiday helped ease the overall travel burden compared to previous years. Many returning residents expressed that the longer break allowed them to spend quality time with loved ones in their village homes. They described the extended vacation as a welcome opportunity for family gatherings. The mass exodus back to Dhaka underscores the deep connection many residents maintain with their rural roots, even as they return to their professional lives in the bustling metropoles. People have been returning to capital comfortably after celebrating the Eid al-Fitr with their near and dear ones in villages. Pressure of Dhaka-bound passengers has been increasing since this morning. Passengers arriving from different districts packed incoming trains, many travelling with their families to resume work in Dhaka. On the ground, it was observed that a large number of returning passengers chose to come back early to avoid last-minute pressure. While many travelled with family members, others returned alone to rejoin their workplaces ahead of schedule. Visiting at Jatrabari, Saidabad and Gaptoli bus terminals, it was found that people who were coming to Dhaka after celebration of the Eid expressed their satisfactions over the journey as they did not face any major hurdle on highways. Jatrabari Saidabad area is now bustling with people returning to workplaces from villages carrying luggages, bags and sacks. Besides, the government has taken various measures to ensure smooth journey and security on highways during the long Eid holidays. Different transport poribahons were coming to Dhaka from Chattogram, Noakhali, Feni, Kumilla, Chatpur, Borishal, Khulna, Patuakhali with full of passengers. The same picture was seen at Shodurghat launch terminal. Many passengers were coming from the southern districts of Borishal, Patuakhali, Bhola, Borguna, Chatpur, Shariatpur and Madaripur by motor launches. Meanwhile, not all passengers were returning to Dhaka. A noticeable number of people were still leaving the capital on the third day of Eid, hoping to spend time with family or travel within the country after the main festive period. Earlier, from March 17, Dhaka had witnessed a mass exodus as people left the city to celebrate Eid with their loved ones. Transport hubs including bus terminals, railway stations and launch ghats were overwhelmed with passengers. With government and private offices set to reopen tomorrow, the capital is now seeing the reverse flow as workers steadily return. Even on the third day of Eid al-Fitr, the capital Dhaka remains largely empty. Instead of the usual hustle, traffic congestion and busyness, a sense of quiet now prevails across the country. With empty roads, fewer vehicles and a relaxed environment, Dhaka has turned into a city for recreational activities during this Eid period. Some people have gone out with their families for an outing, some are heading to recreational centers, while others are out enjoying rickshaw rides. However, taking advantage of the empty roads, reckless driving is being observed in some areas. As a result, the risk of accidents is increasing. Keeping this in mind, law enforcement agencies are active at various points across the capital. In addition, police are conducting regular patrols at important points. A massive influx of visitors turned the National Zoo in Mirpur into a scene of severe overcrowding on the first day of the Eid holiday, leaving authorities struggling to manage the surging crowds. The zoo witnessed an overwhelming rush from the morning onward, with families from the capital and various districts across the country flocking to the premises. The situation was so dire that visitors reportedly faced a sea of people pressing upon them as they attempted to view the animals, including tigers, lions, and other wildlife. Officials said the crowd exceeded manageable levels, with an estimated 1 lakh visitors thronging the zoo. The administration was reportedly pushed to its limits to cope with the sheer volume of people, many of whom had travelled from outside Dhaka to celebrate the holiday with their families. For many attendees, the trip was a deliberate break from the digital world. Several parents stated they chose to bring their children to the zoo to provide them with a direct educational experience with nature and wildlife, rather than keeping them engaged with digital devices at home. Despite the crushing crowds, the enthusiasm of young visitors remained palpable. Children were visibly delighted by the opportunity to explore an environment outside their homes and see the animals up close. No immediate reports of injuries or major incidents were available, but the conditions highlighted the ongoing challenges of infrastructure and crowd management at the capital's premier public recreation spot during major holidays. In a celebration blending tradition and leisure, residents of the capital have been flocking to historic sites, adding a third dimension to their Eid festivities. The historic Lal Bagh Fort has emerged as a central hub of activity, with families and individuals alike seizing the holiday to connect with the nation's rich heritage. Witnesses described a vibrant atmosphere at the fort, with visitors expressing immense joy at the opportunity to share their experience with family members amidst the festive spirit. It feels wonderful to be able to partake in such happiness with our loved ones. One visitor was quoted as saying, "The surge in visitors come as authorities confirmed that Lal Bagh Fort, along with various other entertainment and cultural centers, would remain open to the public throughout the weekly holiday, ensuring ample opportunities for citizens to engage in recreational and historical exploration during the Eid break." The enthusiasm displayed at the historic site underscores a growing public interest in the country's historical and cultural landmarks. The historic Lal Bagh Fort in the capital turned into a vibrant hub of celebration on the occasion of Eid, drawing massive crowds from the morning. The premises saw an overwhelming influx of visitors as families and friends gathered to share the festive spirit. Visitors were seen lining up in a long queues at the entrance since early morning, eager to step inside with their loved ones. The centuries-old monuments transformed into a meeting place, with the sprawling green lawns and ancient structures serving as a picturesque backdrop for the festivities. For many, the choice of venue was deliberate. Travelers who came from distant locations stated that Lal Bagh Fort was their preferred destination to spend quality time with family on the holiday. In response to the heavy foot traffic, authorities have bolstered security and management measures. Officials confirmed that surveillance and overall arrangements have been intensified to ensure the safety and convenience of visitors. Members of the law enforcement agencies were seen working alongside the fort's administration to maintain order and security throughout the day. The government on Sunday said the country's fuel oil supply remains stable, dismissing concerns over potential shortages as imports have risen significantly. Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Iqbal Hassan Mahmood Tuku told a press conference that fuel imports have increased by approximately 25% compared to the previous year, ensuring adequate reserves to meet national demand. He urged citizens not to engage in panic buying and advised them to collect fuel based on actual necessity, warning that unnecessary stockpiling could disrupt normal distribution. The assurance comes amid public concerns over energy availability, though officials maintain that supply chains remain uninterrupted and sufficient stocks are in place across the country. Amid ongoing fuel imports under the current administration, authorities have acknowledged a temporary strain in supply following a two-day disruption. Power Minister Iqbal Hassan Mahmood Tuku stated that the disruption had put consumers under some pressure. Meanwhile, State Minister for Road Transport and Railway Habibur Rashid Habib assured that necessary security would be provided where required. He also noted that the government has controlled all subtle attempts to hike fuel prices. The parade marking the Great Independence and National Day is scheduled to be held under the directive of the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs, with the supervision of the Armed Forces Division and arrangement of the 9th Infantry Division. Members of various military and paramilitary forces are currently preparing for the parade at the National Parade Ground. Construction work is underway for large pavilions and the main stage. Personnel from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Police, BGB and BNCC are busy with final rehearsals, sharpening their performance through continuous exercise. This year's parade will feature several specialized uncles of the Bangladesh Army, including the Preston Guard Regiment, Armored Contingent, East Bengal Contingent and Bangladesh Infantry Regiment Contingent, among others. A national flag-bearing contingent comprising members of different forces will also take part. In addition to contingents from the Bangladesh Navy and Air Force, units from Border Guard Bangladesh, Bangladesh Coast Guard, Bangladesh Police, Bangladesh Ansar and VDB and a paratrooper contingent will participate in the parade. Moreover, mechanized units will join the infantry, showcasing a range of heavy military hardware, advanced technologies and equipment from the armed forces and other agencies in this year's parade. Now international news.